Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. We're on the test server here. We're going to be taking a look at the new event dungeon. Basically what I want to do is just talk through mechanics, which I think you need to bring to your team, and then maybe talk through some of the champions that might be able to achieve what you need to do. Now in this new event dungeon, there's a lot of tough things to deal with. We're dealing with a lot of speed, honestly, from the enemy teams. We're dealing with them doing a lot of crowd control on us. We have to get some damage away somewhere, and we also need to basically crowd control them back. So I was looking at the new stages tool, kind of like pull down that we've done here. If you don't know, by the way, you can come to hellhades.com, come to the kind of Raid Shadow Legends section in the stages tool, and then you can select any content in the game. So let's say you're trying to work your way through the event dungeon and you're trying to beat stage 20. Then you can literally look at all of the enemies that you're going to face and get a sense of what stats you need to be able to beat that enemy. So, for example, on stage 20, the boss is 185 speed, and you can see the rest of the team. They've got a high level of resistance, which means basically you need like 320 accuracy to be able to do anything. And if you're trying to resist their stuff, you're looking at basically near enough 500 resistance. That's stage 20. Let's look at stage 30 for the final boss, which is what I'm going to concentrate this video on. And, you know, we've got fast enemies. You've got Kaja the Rai here at 300 speed. And if we want to crowd control the whole enemy wave, which really we do, you're going to be wanting to bring someone that can be very competent at crowd control over 300 speed. So over 300 speed, but also with like 520 accuracy. So they're the sort of numbers we're looking at. It's a really tough encounter. I will say this is not content for everybody to play right now. If you are someone who's, you know, pushing towards late game, then this event dungeon is awesome and pinpoint gear is really good. If you're not in that sort of zone, then the stats are going to be very hard for you to achieve, I think, unless we find some cheese teams, that type of stuff. The actual boss is actually slower than the ads and has got less resistance, but still is similar sort of numbers, honestly. To resist what the boss is doing to us, you need 700 resistance. And really, the only champion that makes a lot of sense for that, you can definitely build them, but the only champion that makes a lot of sense is Mithrala, whose accuracy and resistance basically add together. So what you can do is let the boss do her skill. So crowd control the ads, let the boss do her skill on us, have Mithrala resist it, and then Mithrala do a full cleanse and get your team back in the fight. So you could have Mithrala just slower than the boss. It's a really, really like viable option. You can honestly get anybody who is going to cleanse your team capable of doing that. Same sort of idea. Slower than the boss, give them high resistance, and then they cleanse your team, and then your team are all back in operation. So that's definitely a strat that I think is very viable. If we concentrate on that for a minute, two champions actually stand out to me. No, maybe three actually. Two stand out as absolute like VIPs here. That is Shamal, because what the boss is doing to us is true fearing us. Shamal will clean that bad boy right off and also give your leader a bunch of turn meter. So Shamal VIP in terms of cleaning off what the boss does. We've also got, and this is a champion I'm using on my main team, Jingwon. Basically doing the same thing, removing all of the true fears and stuff from your team and letting your team go. So those two are VIPs, but then you've got champions like, she comes out a lot, Doom Priest, who if you run her a little bit slower than the boss, will just take a turn and she'll clean one debuff off. Now, the leader is going to take a second debuff called Death Brand. So it's a 50-50 whether your leader gets all of their abilities back or not. So Doom Priest is a little bit less consistent than, say, a Shamal or a Jingwon. You've also got two Hanorak doing a similar job as well. If you've got her, cleaning a random debuff at the start. So yeah, those two are less consistent than Shamal and Jingwon. So you've got the cleanse factor. We need to do damage. Who's going to do your damage? It's the usual suspects, unfortunately. It's very much, do you own Newt? Triple enemy max HP hits. Enemy max HP is where the damage is coming from. Have you got your Marius yet? Does the same job. do you have, you've guessed it, Geomancer to do the equivalent of enemy max HP damage. That's based on them hitting you, but it's still a really viable strat. Other stuff I've seen so far is like enemy HP burn across the whole team, and then instant activation of the burn. So quite similar, honestly, to the first event dungeon. So damage, cleansing. The third main one really is crowd control. And you need someone who's fast and is going to be reliable to do the crowd control. Now, few champions that I've been playing around with are your Carl. Your Carl will give you a irresistible freeze as long as he's just a bit faster than the enemy. This is good because you don't need the accuracy requirement, so you can literally go in and get that 100% chance to place a freeze. So look, increases to 100% against targets with high turn meter. Okay, so this is definitely viable and it will enable you to get your damage away. Other ones that I've looked at are Gergo, who got buffed. So has now got this one here, 100% chance to freeze. And he gets another turn, so he can lay in a bit of damage as well, or get your decreased defense away. So he's going to be pretty viable. You've got some of the stun crew, who are also very useful here. So I'm using the archer. I know not everyone's going to have the archer, but you do have a decent amount of legendaries that have got 100% chance to stun. So Tunisia, I think Stultus, no, it's 50, sorry, 75, that one. Ragash, what's Ragash's? Ragash's is 100%. There is also Astralon, who is 100%. Don't know if I've even got him, have I? Maybe it's just not built out. Astralon, yeah, it's got 100% chance to stun. So the 100% chance to stun are harder to find. Basafa, if you've done all of your Doom Tower stuff and got that, but they're more difficult to find, honestly. So crowd control is going to be really, really important to get the job done. Let me show you how my team runs, or how a team runs, and then I'll show you my fast team afterwards. I was playing around with like a level 20 team, by the way. I was playing with a few different like options to try and do like a real budget team. I'll keep working on it. It's close, but it's not quite there. But for level 30, oh, this was another interesting one. So if I wanted to use Geo as my damage, lock out the enemy team and let them hit you was also quite, I'll show you actually, it's quite a fun, viable option. So Warlord locks out the enemy team. We have Geomancer do his burn. Increase the duration of the burn with Mikage. Everyone's doing their stuff against us. Every time they hit us, we've got a chance to proc the Geomancer. We then get the cleanse from Mithrala. And honestly, we're just kind of saying, come at us, hit us, and you'll kill yourself. That was the idea here. I've still got Big Boy coming in with his Blessed Bash, which we all love. And then I turn Mikage into a stun bot, hopefully, if it all goes to plan. And she kills herself. So quite a fun alternative. Let me show you my main team that I built. Okay, so I'm not on the test server anymore. I'm back on my main account. I'll show you the run quick. And then I'll talk you through it. Or I'll show you the stats, I guess. But this is very much a pay-to-win effort, or I guess very high-end account effort. 2 triple enemy max HPers. Crowd controlled by one person who hits that 100% chance. Xingwon cleaning off the true fears, and then basically we go again. So it could be Newt and Marius. Archer could be anyone who's doing that consistent crowd control. Xingwon or Shamao can do the job, and then a reset champion. But you end up getting very consistent, very fast farm. I think the only chance that I don't win this is if I get a 3%er on the stuns, which is definitely possible. And then it depends which one of them gets 3%ed, honestly. But Xingwon is literally naked right now. Didn't put any gear on him. It's irrelevant what he's wearing. Okay, 100% nude. His nipples are out, as we can see. Yeah, nothing on. So he's naked. My newts and stuff I just already had built for other content, so didn't change any of their builds. They're just built well. My archer I had to make fast enough to be faster than all of the waves, so over 300 speed, and then over that 505 accuracy, or 520, I think. And then Kaimar, I just made sure that he was slower. What did I need to do? Just make sure that he was basically going after the newts. That was it. So yeah, super easy if you've got the right tools for this final boss. But yeah, what I do like is at least there are alternatives to the champs that I'm using, but it's very enemy max HP heavy. The usual suspects, unfortunately, are going to get the job done from the damage point of view. From the crowd control and the cleansing and that type of stuff, I think we've got a decent amount of options. But honestly, for the damage, it's newts, it's Marius's, it's Geos. They're like by far the best solution. Or, as I said, like that burn mechanic. I'll show you actually a team that some of the guys ran. Let me just find it quick. So, yeah, we had YST with this cool team using burn mechanics and Tunisia for like guaranteed stunnage, reset, go again type of thing. So, very cool team. And yeah, Saf had like an activation burn team, but again with two big enemy max HPers. But there you go. Hopefully that was useful for you guys if you're trying to get involved. I do think it's a fun event, but it feels very similar to the Odin one. Didn't really change it up. But it is tough. It is gear intensive. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.